2, 1, 2. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Motor Racing channel for tonight's action here in the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. We're here tonight for round 13 of 24 here for season 12 on the all platforms version of the F1 24 game, with many different platforms being represented as well now. Obviously, we've got the PC as well as PlayStation, and you've got Steam as well as that other one they race on PC. So yeah, good to see. But here we are then, halfway through the season. Has been met a couple of weeks ago. We had a week break last week for Easter. Now we're back for the second half of the season. 17 drivers currently out on track at this moment. So yeah, good turnout tonight. And all in all, looking like we're in for some good action here tonight. Going to quickly run through the championship standings at the halfway point in the season. This is obviously very, very relevant at this point. So leading the championship on 190 points is Glenn. Has had a very, very strong start to the season. The mid part of the first half didn't go so well, but then towards the end of the first half of the season, around sort of 9, 10, 11, 12, last couple of weeks, he rallied it together a little bit and went into the midpoint in the season with the championship lead by 12 points. But Davidoff is not far behind at all in second place. Davidoff is on 178 points, 12 points behind Glenn in second place. Then you got Justify in third place, really closed the gap in the last couple of weeks before the mid-season break. He's in third place on 155 points, 35 points behind Glenn, the championship leader. Then you got Matty Pitt in fourth place, 139 points, 51 points behind the championship leader. Rexy Boy sits fifth on 88 points. And then in sixth place is C. Faulkner on 86 points, only 2 points behind Rexy Boy. Actually can't see C. Faulkner on this list, so I believe C. Faulkner's not here. Then Freddie in seventh place on 67 points. Freddie commented on the stream last night saying he's excited for tonight. Obviously with a week break. It's been a little while since these guys got their team into some action here, but good to see Freddie out there as always. And then we've got T in 8th place in the standings on 59 points, followed by Street Boy in 9th place on 44 points. And in 10th place, Mr. Johan on 34 points. He's had a very strong opening to his Purple Sector season so far. Only joined the league 3 rounds ago and has already put a fair number of points on the board. Rock is in 11th place on 28 points. Can't see Rock actually either. So yeah, I believe we're without Rock. Then 12th place is Mark on 28 points also. Oh, Mark's there. There he is. After Mark, we got Drauga in 13th, also on 28 points. So 3 drivers on 28 points. And G.C. is 14th on 24 points. Followed by Truckee in 15th on 11 points. Then we got Oliver in 16th on 10 points. White Shadow Hole in 17th has scored 2 points so far this season. And Wild Pluto, I'm 90% sure Wild Pluto's left the league because I haven't seen Wild Pluto in a very long time. But that is that then for the championship standings. And currently tonight we have got a new driver to the Purple Sector that we're welcoming along. And that is Jordan Hillier. Jordan races in the Red Arrows Racing League on Monday night. Been commentating on him for the last few weeks, and he was asking if there's any other leagues that I commentate on. I said, yeah, I do one on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So apologies, Purple Sector drivers. If he's really, really quick and far too good, then this one's on me because I was the one that referred him. I was actually a driver who is leading their championship, or he's right up there. Who asked? And I did warn him. That may not be a good idea. But anyway, Jordan setting the pace here, a tenth quicker than Davidoff at top of the leaderboard. Matty Pitt in third place at the moment, followed by Freddie. Freddie's on improvement as we speak. He's just coming through towards the chicane in the middle part of the lap at the moment, so we've got to keep an eye on him and see what he's up to, because I'm sure there'll be a continued gradual improvement over the course of this lap. But yeah, Jordan Hillier's definitely jumped in with a very strong inception so far here in this one. A fantastic lap there. Raven Maestro says, Andy, hello, Ravi, welcome along. Good to see you, Ravi. It's been a while. How are you doing? Freddie here just coming into the final sector here. 2/10 up on his personal best as he comes through that final corner, which is absolutely killing the left rear tyre. And Freddie coming over the line. Let's see what he can do. P5 there for Freddie. Currently 0.7 of a second off for the fastest time. So a side lap there from him. Currently the top two still in the pits at the moment, having done their first runs of the session. We've got a Red Bull there, a truckie being pulled into the garage. Ben Hardy, another new driver here tonight, driving in the Kick Sauber. It's been a bit of a tricky situation being in that position. Earlier in the season, we saw one of the drivers who jumped in the Kick Sauber, I think, making a disgrace of themselves in their very first race. It was at China, it was. We saw a driver jumping into that car and, yeah, basically went steaming into somebody. Just realised I do apologise for this, guys. My headphones haven't been plugged. So I've had a bit of a mare there. So I've been talking through my controller mic the entire time. My controller mic is not to the same standard that my headphones are, so I think you should be able to hear a much more concentrated sound now. Ravi says, how is you? How's Motive? Yeah, I'm not actually running Motive at the moment. I have taken a bit of a break from running my own leagues. I just commentate on other people's leagues at the moment. So I commentate on a league called Red Arrows on Monday, and then Purple Sector runs twice a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's the same league, but they run 2 days. And yeah, that's all I'm doing at the moment. But I'm hoping to get some ACC leagues on the console going, or not some leagues, but some competitions. So maybe weekly events or something, some endurance events, maybe some charity events every couple of months, like a big endurance with teams and everything. That would be quite cool. So yeah, hopefully get something like that up at some point. As Justify is coming through the final couple of corners here, currently coming into the pits, so 0.4 off for the fastest time here for Justify. Justify is a driver who's been in form recently, has been cutting the gap down to the championship leader quite significantly over the last few weeks. Obviously the championship leader has changed hands a couple of times. It's been mainly between this man here, Davidoff, and Klen, so it's been sort of swapping over a little bit over the last few weeks, but whoever the championship leader is at any given time, they've generally been losing points to our driver in the McLaren. So Justify's currently in the pits at the moment. We can see Klen leaving the garage and off and away again. As Jordan Hillier here coming into the pits at the end of this particular run. The only driver currently in the 1:14s as it stands here in this session. Ravi says, sounds good. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully it'll be up and running soon. I'm also thinking, because I've had a couple of people asking if I run any leagues, and I'm thinking about maybe setting up an F1 league. It won't be on the Friday that it used to, but Wednesday's definitely a possibility. Saturday, maybe, probably Wednesday. But yeah, it's an option anyway. It's an option. It's a possibility. But yeah, if that's only an idea that I've had in my head. I haven't spoken to anyone about that, not even Ian, who's my regular co-commentator, albeit not at the moment. But yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about. But Ben Hardy starting a lap, currently P3 in this session, only 0.3 off for the fastest time. Our debutant here tonight, his fellow debutant, is currently the provisional pole sitter at the moment. Matty Pitt's on an in lap by the looks of it. Has done a time good enough for P5 so far in this session. Freddie in the pits at this point in time. Rexy Boy's out there on an out lap, so we'll be coming around to start a lap in a few moments' time. Mark is just done a lap, I think, by the looks of it, so P9 that one was good enough for. Ravi says, my fave is also Davidoff, as I can see his dedication and passion. How can you see his dedication and passion, Ravi? You barely know him. As Glenn has done a time going for P17. That's our championship leader there. Glenn hasn't put a representative time on the board there, I'm sure. I'm absolutely certain we're going to see a continued improvement here from Glenn, because P17 is not what we come to expect from this one. Where are we saying lap times? Oh yeah, I suppose that's usually a consideration. We got Ben Hardy here coming over the line and goes to the top of the leaderboard there by a tenth of a second. He pushes his teammate down a place, and it's kicks Alva 1-2 at the moment. So Ben and Jordan here setting the pace, showing everybody how it's done at this point in time. Excellent stuff there from those two. Rexy Boy's on a flying lap here, but has got a bit of traffic in the shape of his teammate Street Boy. So his Street Boy getting a bit of a tow here. Gets well out of the way now as he now comes into the final sector here. Let's see what Rexy Boy is able to produce here through this long left-hander. There's a lot of long corners around here. The tyres do tend to take a bit of a beating, the soft tyres especially. Rexy Boy here out of the final corner towards the line. What is it going to be for Rexy Boy? Currently P7 and stays P7 there. Doesn't improve. His lap time, that lap time would have been enough for P9. So has got a bit of work to do here. Currently the Ben Hardy, your top driver, having just delivered the knockout blow there to Jordan, but Jordan's out there looking to try and come back at him here. Up to the top of the hill in the first sector, a 10th up on his personal best. That put him very, very close to his teammate indeed. He needs to continue this sort of momentum through these next two sectors here. Jordan now into the chicane, staying well off of the curves there, being very cautious through that sequence. Now this is the part of the track that can really make or break your lap here. You've got to be measured in how you take these corners. You can't take too much into any of them, because you immediately compromise yourself for the next one. Here he comes in down the hill. As it stands, if Jordan were to match his final sector, his previous final sector, he'll be on pole position here. So he just needs to maintain what he's already got through this part of the track. Here he comes then into the final corner. A little bit tight on the entry, but managed to navigate nicely through there. And Jordan up towards the line. Is it going to be pole position for Jordan? It is. Provisional pole position by half a tenth a second there, ahead of his teammate Ben. So Jordan putting it back on top of the leaderboard here. Justifies on out lap at the moment. The rest of the top 10 are all in the pits, so I can't imagine they're going to be finding a great deal of improvement from there. As we've got Street Boy just starting a lap here in the closing stage of the session. We've got Vamshi Krishna here saying, Davidoff has this aura. I'm sure Justify would have also felt it during multiple passes. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of know what you mean, actually. You know, I get it. I do. Yeah. Makes some sense. Raven Mustro, so I just tuned in. I can see that Davidoff has something. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Right, Justify coming through turn 2 at the moment. This is the man who's currently in third place in the standings so far this season, but my brain, my intuition is telling me that he's got the most wins. I don't know this because the purple sector, the standings are on a table rather than a chart. So I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who's got the most wins here this season, but Justify, he's the driver who I've seen, I think, winning the most races. He tends to, when he has a clanger, he has a total clanger, but when he's on form, when he's on song, it's very, very hard to see anyone else win the race. So he's one of those drivers, when he's on it, he's really on it, and when he's not, it all goes horribly wrong. So Justify here coming to the final final sector, should I say. And let's see what we're able to do here. Currently P4, second row as things stand. Currently sitting 35 points and adrift in the championship, so needs a strong result here tonight to continue to put that pressure on the top two contenders. Here comes Justify over the line, improves the lap time, but not by nearly enough there. Still 6/10 shy of Jordan and Ben. Obviously Jordan was recommended by myself to join the league, but I don't know who Ben is, but I assume he's friends with Jordan. Probably races in the other division over at Red Arrows or in another league, I'm not sure. But yeah, those guys currently showing everybody how it's done at the moment. So Jordan currently in the box at this moment in time. Ben Hardy just coming up towards turn 4 to the end of the first sector. 300s down on his personal best on this particular lap here. Needs to find 600s overall. So needs to conjure up a tenth of a second through these next 2 sectors here. Very nicely done there through the chicane. Now again, this is part of the track where you need to be very measured in how you take the corners. And Ben Hardy here not using the runoff at all. Pretty sure track limits are strict in this league, so you really can't risk running over that white line. If you do, then you're going to have wasted your entire last couple of minutes. But Ben here coming now through the penultimate corner and now in towards the final corner. He's going to pick up a bit of a toe here, but not too much. It's not going to make any difference, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things. Ben over the line. Oh, he got close, didn't he? Very close. 0.004 of a second he was shy of Jordan. Has he got enough fuel for another lap here? Has he got the tyres to do another lap? I don't think so. Pretty sure he's backed out. But yeah, Ben Hardy's got it. A tantalising goes. Oh, and Davidoff there, top of the leaderboard by a tenth of a second. So Davidoff there coming up with the reply right at the end of the session there. Lovely lap there from Davidoff. That came from nowhere. And he's gone and usurped the 2 newbies, the 2 debutants there, having some manners put on them by the experienced head of Davidoff. Matty Pitt managed to do a lap good enough there for P4. About half a second off of Davidoff there, so decent stuff there from him. But Davidoff there, the man with the aura, the Sigma of Purple Sector, has just gone and delivered the lap time there right at the end. And he's got time to do another lap, but I don't think he's got the fuel or the tyres. So he's going to be coming in at the end of this particular run. But Davidoff there showing what he's made of. And Freddie there's gone in 4th place as well. Good lap there from Freddie. Only less than 4/10 off of the pole time there by Davidoff. So excellent stuff there from Freddie. Didn't really show his hand until right at the end. Cleden there goes P5, the championship leader, a little way down. Big surprise there. There's a couple of big surprises here. Cleden Justify in 5th and 7th places here. And they're going to lose points there to Davidoff. Davidoff, the prime position here, 2nd in the championship coming into tonight. But he is going to have, I think, the impetus here to really kick on and potentially take the championship leader tonight. If he finishes 13 points, or if he were to win and Clem were to finish 5th or lower, Davidoff be the championship leader at the end of tonight. So if things were to finish how they start, then Davidoff would be the top driver going into Thursday night. But nonetheless, it's still a long race ahead of us here. See if anybody's on a lap there. Jaga's coming out on an in lap. You've got Rexy Boy. Seems to be on a solid run here, actually, coming through the final corner. 500s down on his personal best through the middle sector. Is this going to be an improvement over the line? Rexy Boy comes over now. It's not an improvement. Stays exactly the same as what he was through the middle sector. Street Boy is down, coming through the middle sector as well. So I believe that's it. C. Faulkner did join halfway through the qualifying session, so we'll be starting P12. Did put a lap in, which was solid. Field spread 2 seconds from 1st to 18th place. Not too bad at all here. Should be a competitive race here for tonight. But it is going to be Davidoff lining up on P1. So it is Davidoff there, who will be lining up on pole position, having taken a very, very late fastest lap there of the session. So Davidoff there, pulling it out when it mattered. Our long-time championship leader over the course of this season could be once again taking that spot back. But Clem obviously leads us by 13 points going into tonight. And Justify down in P7, the one who already has a lot to do this season, already has a big gap to claw back, is not in a great position here tonight at all. But nonetheless, it's all systems go here for the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. And we are moments away from the start here. It will be a short formation lap, the editorial highlights package formation lap that we see quite often in the F1 game. and then it'll be underway for the actual race itself.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
Here we are then, everybody. We're about to go racing here for the Hungarian Grand Prix here at the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. This is it then, lining up on the grid here for round 13 of 24, season 12 here. All platforms on the F1 24 game. 18 cars lining up on the grid here, only 2 spaces still free on the grid, so great turnout here for the start of this second half of the season. Here we go, lights coming on the end of the grid, we're about to go racing here for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. Is it an aborted start? Wow, that was a long hold and a lot of ghosted cars here. So down towards turn 1 we go, and it's Davidoff here leading, with Jordan in second. Freddie's made a solid start there, staying ahead of Glenn. Got a lot of ghosts going on right now. What's going on here? Davidoff leading ahead of Ben Hardy in second, followed by Glenn, Matty Pitt. That was a messy start there. Too many ghost cars around, and looked like the lights went off in a very strange manner. There was a long hold after they went out as well. So yeah, not quite sure what's going on there. But Davidoff leading up the hill ahead of Ben, with Glenn third, ahead of Matty Pitt, justifying fifth. Up a couple of places here. Drauger has moved ahead of Jordan, so is C. Fortner and Rexy Boy. So Jordan Hidio is absolutely plummeting down the leaderboard here. Wasn't able to take the start by the looks of it. His AI is clearly in control of the car, which is obviously causing him some problems right now. But in the meantime, it's Davidoff leading the race ahead of Ben Hardy in second, and Glenn up into third place. So what a flying start there from Glenn, from fifth on the grid. So both Glenn and Justify making up places here on this opening lap. Matty Pitt has held position so far, but Davidoff here leading into the penultimate corner. As we see now, T has moved ahead of Jordan as well, so Jordan's AI still in control of the car, and Jordan's still not back in the session just yet. So he'll be needing to get himself back in ASAP to limit the damage done here, but already down in P10, so obviously from pole position, it's not ideal at all there for him. Davidoff leading into turn 1 here on lap 2 of the race, and I say pole position, it wasn't pole position, it was P2, because Davidoff obviously took that position off of him right at the end of the session. But nonetheless, down towards turn 2 here on lap 2 of the race. And yeah, Jordan here, Jordan's AI still at the wheel, although saying that though, he's keeping up now with Truckee, so I wonder if maybe he's at the wheel again, but it could be because of the desync that has caused his car to be ghosted. I'm not quite sure. But one way or the other, he's down in P12 and has got a lot of work to do here. Davidoff out the front. Ben Hardy's keeping him on his toes at the moment, so's Glenn. And all the top drivers here are keeping within a second of the car in front, so it's going to be a bit of a DRS train, I reckon, in the first part of this race. Look for any battles here. Have we got anyone attacking close on the car in front? Mr. Johan here, looking at the inside of White Shadow. White Shadow keeps it around the outside for the time being. In the background there, you could see the Haas of Oliver looking a little bit tasty on the back of Street Boy. But at the moment, Mr. Johan's still behind White Shadow. He's going to look for a chance, though, surely, down the start-finish straight. This could be a golden opportunity here for Mr. Johan to make this move. We see also C. Faulkner looking around the outside of Rexy Boy into turn 1. Is that job done here for C. Faulkner? I think it might well be. Side by side down towards turn 2. In the meantime, Mr. Johan's made the move there on White Shadow Harbour to 14th place, so that is job done there for him. And C. Faulkner has indeed moved ahead of Rexy Boy there up into 7th place, so that's now job done as well for C. Faulkner up in 7th place. But Davidoff still has the lead here ahead of Ben, but Ben is keeping him very much on his toes right now as they go through the chicane. Glenn also right there with them. These three have gapped Matty Pitt ever so slightly. Matty's just dropped out of the DRS to these three drivers here out the front. But I tell you what, this is shaping up to be a great battle here out the front between these top three. Let's get the tyre graphic up so we can see what strategy people are on. Everybody's on the mediums except for Mark and G.C. Mark currently running in P10. A solid first couple of laps there for him. He is holding up a few drivers up by the looks of it, because you can see there he's a couple of seconds behind the top 9 drivers, and then he's got a bit of a train behind him, but he's doing all right so far. G.C. currently running in P18, also on the hard tyres, but everybody else running what looks to be a pretty identical strategy at this point, as Davidoff here coming into turn 1 here on lap 4 of the race. These guys are all in a train of cars. None of them able to break the DRS here. As Justify, and Justify's got into the back of Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt spun round, has come off of that one horribly, and is Justify waiting for him. I think he might well be here, you know. Is Justify going to let him back through? He is. So sportsmanship there from Justify, but it's definitely cost both of them a heap of time here in this race, and it's lost them a lot of positions too. They were running in 4th and 5th places. Now they're running down in 8th and 9th, so they both lost 5 places here, and that's going to be really frustrating there. Especially for Matty Pitt, because he did nothing wrong at all. Justified looked down the inside, had his car on the inside, had a bit of his car alongside. Might have been a bit of an ambitious move there from Justify. Matty Pitt closed the door, maybe he could have given him more room. We'll have to obviously see what the stewards do about that, but in the meantime, it's still Davidoff with a send the lead ahead of Ben, and Glenn is within a second of the lead at the moment, so these three continuing to assert their dominance over everybody else. There's Draga, T. Faulkner and Rex Boy T. Matty Pitt and Justify there with Truckee running in P10 still. As they come out onto the start-finish straight once again, it's Davidoff who currently has the ascendancy here. Ben's still got DRS on Davidoff, but if Davidoff were to break that DRS, then Glenn would be really a big threat to Ben here, because Ben is, well, he almost had dropped out of the DRS there, but has clearly got some straight line speed here. I think his setup is more downforce, or rather low downforce orientated than Davidoff's and Glenn's, because it certainly seemed like he was gaining down the straight, but through the corners looks like Davidoff has a bit more confidence at this point. Seems like Davidoff a bit more planted coming through some of these corners than what Ben is, but Glenn keeping Ben honest at the moment, and yeah, I definitely feel like if Ben were to lose DRS here on the back of Davidoff, then Glenn is going to have a free punch, if you like. Oh, we've got a spinner there. Seabolt has gone off onto the grass. As we saw, there was a battle going on with Drago Rexy Boy, and Seabolt has dropped behind T now. He's going to be partially on the outside there by Matty Pitt. Justify is also going to be coming through in a moment, you would have thought, as he just had to twitch a little bit there on the inside to avoid going into him. And C. Faulkner stays ahead of Justify there. So down to P8 there is C. Faulkner after that little moment. Was running in 5th place. A few moments to go, challenging on the back of Drauga. But that's an unfortunate moment there for him. We were quite lucky to actually catch that, because I was just looking at the battle behind, saw the gaps were quite close and thought, oh, what's going on here? And then lo and behold, we saw that RB, that cash-up car, having a little pirouette. But nothing too major at the moment, only 3 places lost, sorry, should I say. So certainly not a catastrophe at this point, but nonetheless, we can see Davidoff, Ben and Glenn still battling over first, second, third place. So coming up the hill here to turn 4, so it's still well within a second, these three of each other. We see Justify's made a mistake. What's happened to Justify? Oh, he's had a spin there coming out of turn 2, and he's got no front wing as well. So I don't know if he's had a collision with somebody else here. Jordan Hillier has also got involved in this somewhere. Got a safety car out, no retirements from the race, but clearly that front wing is posing a bit of a threat here to the drivers. So safety car out, and that has kind of saved Justify a little bit here, because obviously now he can come in and get that fixed and still be on the back of the pack here. So could be a bit of a saving grace there for Justify. Nonetheless, Jordan still ghosting at the moment, so yeah, very, very head-scratching situation there for him. But nonetheless, we see Davidoff here leading the race, still coming towards the end of lap 6. Is he going to come into the pits? No. Is anybody going to come into the pits? Be interesting. Yep, Clen's coming in. So Clen is going to, I would imagine, put the hard tyres on, or is he going to two-stop and put a set of softs or mediums on? Jagger also coming in, so is Matty Pitt, Seafort, Mr. Freddy, and Trucky all coming in as well. Mr. Johan following suit. Let's see what his driver has put on. So Jagger's putting hards on, so's Clen, so's Matty Pitt. Trucky likewise. Wonder if these drivers are going to plan on going to the end from here. Now, has anybody put the mediums on? That's going to be an interesting one to look out for. I don't think they have. So nobody, I think, is planning on two-stopping, but it might be necessary later on, depending on safety cars or other unfortunate incidents. But yeah, at this point, it's it's looking like those who are pitted might be in a strong position, and those who are on the mediums at the front, the top 4, have to really push here to build the gap. They might have a safety car, albeit those hards are going to have to go a long way. These drivers who have put those on are going to have to do a long stint at the wheel. And that's a long way to go here, guys. Don't normally do this, but considering it's around a safety car, and I have been needing to go to the loo, I was dreading this moment later on, thinking I'll have to do it during the race, but thank God for the safety car. So, yeah, I'll be back very, very shortly. Give me a sec. There we go then, back underway in a second here for the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Purple Sector F1 League. So safety car peels in, it's going to be Davidoff to get us back underway here as they're coming through the final corner. The top 4 all opting to stay on the medium tyres that they started the race on. And some drivers still on the hard tyres they started on as well. Mark and G.C. So everybody else has put a set of fresh hard tyres on. And we're underway once again here. Davidoff leading into turn 1. There's Ben, head of Rexy Boy T. You've got Mark here, who's just being passed around the outside there by Clen. So Clen now the highest runner of those who put some fresh hard tyres on. Clen could on paper go to the end of this race here. Certainly could put a set of softs on for the final few laps, albeit the softs don't go too well around here unless you're doing about 5 laps or so. But nonetheless, it's going to be very exciting to see how it all goes. Ben has got a 3-second time penalty there. Track limits, which is going to cost him a little bit, you would think. Oliver there with a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. So a couple of drivers there falling foul of the steward's direction in terms of what governs the racetrack. But nonetheless, Davidoff here has got a slender lead. Ben, though, keeping him on his toes. Ben now knows he needs to not only get ahead of him, but he needs to be a little way ahead by the end if he wants to win this race, because that penalty could come back to bite him on the bum when we get to the checkered flag. But coming through the penultimate corner here, Davidoff, Ben, Rexy Boy T and Clay in the top 5, and Clay on those fresh hard tyres which he put on during the safety car, could maybe go to the end in this race. It's going to be exciting to see if he's able to do that. But out of the last corner here to start lap 10, and Davidoff here with a 0.2 of a second gap here to Ben. No DRS this time. It'll be available on the next lap though, as T having to defend from Clen all over the back of him there into turn 1, looking to really get on with this on this restart. In the meantime, Steve Faulkner's moved ahead of Truckee, although Truckee has managed to get back around the outside there at turn 1, as Freddie also has got ahead of Mr. Johan. Mr. Johan, those who are on the back of this train of cars here, as he's trying to go around the outside of Freddie. Freddie's not going to allow that one to happen, and holds on to 12th place there. But currently Davidoff with that lead ahead of Ben, as G.C.'s now got a 3-second penalty as well. So the penalties are being handed out left, right and centre to these stewards, and making the rules up on the fly here. As Ben here looking to up the ante here on the back of the Williams, and he's definitely going to have DRS this time around and can get a good exit out of the final corner. I reckon we'll be seeing a change of lead here, because he's looking a bit more confident on these medium tyres at this point than Davidoff. I think the early part of the race, Davidoff looked like he had it under control. I think now maybe Ben has either done a better job of keeping temps up during the safety car, or has just looked after them better. But whatever the case, he's got a good chance now. It takes a tight line through that final corner. Davidoff, a much wider entry, should be able to carry more speed onto the straight, but the DRS for Ben will certainly help. Here he goes then. Wearing open there for the kick salver. He's going to look to the inside now, and he's going to make the move into turn 1 probably quite easily, I would have thought. Davidoff can't do anything about that, but he's going to go with deep there. Here's Ben. He'll have DRS down towards turn 2. Davidoff though with a much better exit, and Ben is going to be vulnerable there. Rexy Boy swoops through up into second place, and Ben Hart, oh my goodness me, it almost gets taken out by T there as T dives down the inside there into turn 2. T now around the outside getting that one down into third place, and Ben now, the back of the drivers who started on the mediums, has now got the championship leader hassling him here for 4th place as well. So Clen wants a bit of this action as well. It's all gone horribly wrong there for Ben after challenging for the lead a few moments ago. Now down in 4th place, and Davidoff still leading ahead of Rexy Boy at this moment in time. But what a disaster there for Ben Hardy. It all went from very promising to really quite of a difficult situation in just a couple of corners. And Davidoff still has that lead and hasn't suffered any inconvenience as a result of that one. But yeah, as you see, Freddie has also got a 3-second penalty there for track limits. Also, Clen has got ahead of Drauger there, ahead of Ben Hardy, should I say. Ben has dropped behind Clen and Drauger. So Ben, what's going on with Ben here? It seems like this lap has been a nightmare here for him. He's lost 4 places. He was trying to gain 1 place and take the lead, and he's gone from 2nd to 6th place by the end of the lap here. So this is really, it's been a contrasting fortunes time here for Ben. But Rexy Boy here has taken the lead on the inside into turn 1, moved into Davidoff there. That Rexy Boy, where has he come from in this race? He hasn't been a factor in this one, but he's suddenly now leading the Grand Prix here on lap 12. He's on the same tyres he started the race on. He's started on these tyres alongside the likes of Davidoff and Ben, and he's gone and taken P1 here so far in this race. So he's in the box seat here right now, and G.C.'s now moved ahead of Ben. Ben has lost 3 more places since the start of this lap. I don't know whether he's at the car. Has he bailed out? I don't quite know. His friend Jordan is down in 17th place, and I'm pretty sure hasn't been at the wheel since the start of the race here, as Freddie is battling here with Justify, and they're ghosting. So is Freddie now not at the wheel either? I'm wondering if Freddie's maybe jumped out of the car. So this is going very, very strange now. I've got to say, this is quite confusing. Freddie now, his car's now solid again. And he's still ahead of Mr. Johan. Justify looking to attack on the back of Mr. Johan there into that corner. But yeah, it's a bit of a chaotic situation right now with all of these cars ghosting and stuff. In the meantime, Rexy Boy still has the lead ahead of Davidoff, as they're now coming out of the final corner here to start lap 13 of the race. And Claire here looking close on Davidoff right now. Matthew Pitt Moved Dialga up into P5. See, that was a DRS move there, but they've all got DRS on each other. As now we got Mark here looking to try and attack on Dialga as well out of turn 1, but can't do it at the moment. Right, Shadow Hole's got a 3-second penalty there for multiple warnings. There's T there wide coming through turn 2. Matty pit sweeps up the inside. Maybe Dialga can pick up pieces as well here. No, he can't. T holds on to P5 then. But I'll tell you what, a drive on the move on this restart has been clear. He doesn't need to pit again if he can get these hard tyres to the end. It would be a heck of a feat to do so. But it'd be interesting to see now what Rex Boy and Davidoff do, because I imagine they'll probably have to run the hard tyres, which means their offset's not going to be that great. They've come out about 20 seconds behind Glenn as well, but the offset wouldn't be enough to really make up that amount of time. So I don't know what their plan's going to be now, as Glenn and Davidoff battling here. Glenn now's got the cut back here down the hill. But if Glenn doesn't need to pit again, these guys are not going to have any offset to work with here, so they're only hoping to put the hard tyres on. I hope that his tyres totally fail at the end. But Drago nonetheless got a bit out of shape there, has been, or might be overtaken by Justify here. Justify actually goes wide himself there. Mr. Johan sweeps up the inside, says thank you very much. Up into P11 he goes, now can try and attack on Drago here, but he's obviously got DRS train in front of him. As Glenn's taking the lead here down the start finish straight. He's made the move there on Rexy Boy into turn 1. So Glenn had obviously got ahead of Davidoff a few moments ago. Now he's got the lead here of the race. Davidoff is absolutely plummeting down the order here. What has happened to him? He's got out of shape there going through turn 1, down in 10th place. He's got Drago there on the inside of him. C. Fortin has moved out of G.C. as well. But Mr. Johan and Davidoff here are side by side coming out of turn 3. And there's Mr. Johan on the inside, has made that move stick very, very nicely here. Always, Freddie's had a spin coming on the exit of turn 4. Looked like he had made up a few places here on this lap. All the carnage going on in front of him, he'd made the most of it, but he's now had a moment himself there. He's got Oliver and Davidoff side by side here in front of him, as Davidoff just sneaked back ahead there of him. Mr. Johan, in the meantime, is making up absolutely tons of places here at the moment. And G.C.'s lost out there to C. Faulkner as well. And Oliver here's dropped down to P15 and all of that. So it's all going off at the moment. But Glenn has the race lead. The championship leader is going to be laughing his way through this race, because everyone else in front of him has been making mistakes and binning it. And from P5 on the grid, he now has the lead of the race here, as Rex Boy's coming in to take those medium tyres off, which he started the race on. And so is T as well. Surely Davidoff's got to be coming in. Yes, he is. So I imagine these guys will be putting the hard tyres on and going all the way to the checkered flag. From here, they're going to come out behind those drivers who put the hards on a few laps ago, but with an 8-lap tyre offset, which could maybe benefit them by the end of the race. It could. But it's not going to be gaining you that much time. But it could be an advantage coming into the race. Glenn, in the meantime, has the race lead. There's Matty Pitt ahead of Mark and Drago. Mark still has to pit, put the hard tyres on. So does, sorry, the medium tyre, I should say. And so does G.C. Or are they going to push it long here and try and go for the softs? Again, I've said before, the softs don't really work around this track, apart from in qualifying. So it's basically they're a one-trick pony. They're literally just for doing one lap. They tend to go off very, very quickly. You've got a lot of long sweeping corners around this track, and they tend to wipe out the softs very, very quickly here. As we've got a VSC. I'm not quite sure why at this moment. No real obvious indicators as to why that's happened. As Mr. Johan and Jug are both in the pits here at the end of lap 15. So they're taking they're taking the hard tyres off. They're going to go for the mediums from here. Right, fresh mediums for Trauger. And likewise for Mr. Johan. So they reckon they can do 20 laps on a set of medium tyres, which is quite ballsy, I have to say. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. That's a bit of a surprise that they think they can do that. White Shadow Hull has also gone for the medium tyres. Davidoff's got a fresh set of hards, or is he? I don't know what's he doing here. But he's missing a front wing, is Davidoff. So this race that had already gone from bad to worse has now gone to absolute. Well, I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I mean. Yeah, this is not good for Davidoff at all. It really, really isn't. After such promising qualifying as well, it was looking like he'd gained points on his championship rival, Glenn, and Glenn is now off and away doing the business out the front, seemingly in complete control of this race. So what a contrast in fortunes we've seen from qualifying to the race. Clem was down in P5, inexplicably off at the pace, and so far in the race it's gone totally the opposite way here. Davidoff running in P18, Clem out the front, looking very likely to extend his championship lead, and not by a bit as well. It's going to be by a healthy margin. He's going to be miles ahead. In fact, Davidoff won't be too far ahead of Justify in the championship by the end of tonight, as things stand. Currently running in P4, could definitely get on the podium here. He's on the back of Mark at the moment. He's about 7 seconds off for the lead at this point, as well as Justify. Also coming along with these guys is Freddie running in 5th place, so there is definitely 3 of them in this battle for 3rd place. Obviously these guys will move up in a few moments time, so Justify will be 3rd and Freddie will be 4th, because Mark is going to come in for some medium tyres. You would have thought reasonably soon, and he's going to come in now, so Mark is boxing at the end of lap 18, and that now puts Justify into 3rd place and Freddie into 4th. Freddie has got a penalty, which we added to his time at the end of the race. He's got DRS here on Justify, but Justify holds on to that one for now. So Glenn's still leading the race ahead of Matty Pitt, with Justify 3rd and Freddie on the back of Justify as things stand at the moment in his battle for 3rd place. G.C. is leading a 3-car train here for 5th place. He's ahead of C. Faulkner and Jordan at the moment. Jordan, I'm pretty sure, is at the wheel now. I wasn't so sure earlier on, but he had a catastrophic start to the race. Oh, it's 3 boys out of the race, and I believe that's a crash, because there are double-edged yellow flags on the track here, so it must have been an incident rather than a retirement. So I'm going to try and look out for where this could have happened. Davidoff's behind him on the road. Once we see Davidoff jump ahead of him, we'll know if it's been cleared. It has been cleared. So it was in the pits. Street Boy retired in the pits, which would indicate, logically, that he'd retired in the pit box. But, I mean, why would that bring out the yellow flag? That's a bit strange. Anyway, we continue on with Freddie still on the back of Justify at the moment as they're coming over the line here to start lap 19 of the race. We're over halfway through the race at this point. And Freddie's still keeping Justify on his toes, but not looking like he's really in a position to put him under major threat at the moment. C4 has moved out of CG, let's see that up into P5. And that's a move for position there with C4 on 6 lap pressure tyres. I think that he's got a bit out of shape there. And can't, Gio can't come back in him there into turn 2. But yeah, it did look like C4 just made a bit of a mistake there coming out of turn 1. Keeping it together for the time being. Glenn still out the front. Gap's 4 seconds to Matty Pitt. There's Justify still keeping Freddie at bay at the moment. Oliver's still putting the pressure here on the back of Ben Hardy in this battle for a P8. Mark is still ahead of T as well. T on those 4 lap old hard tyres, which he's been on for a couple of laps now. Ben's moved ahead of Jordan Hillier here up in 7th place. Ben with that penalty also, as well as Freddie and G.C. Ben and Jordan, they're running second apart here. The two debutants who qualified in second and third places, and both had tricky starts to the race. Jordan obviously dropped back on the first lap down to about 12th place in very strange circumstances. He's been ghosting since the start of the race as well, but I do think that is a real person driving the car, so I don't quite know why he's ghosting. Mr. Johan there's moved ahead of Oliver in the background up into a 9th place. The two Hasses swapping over there. But yeah, currently G.C. coming under pressure here from the two kick salvers. Andy Fong says, how's Davidoff P17? What happened? He got overtaken by a few cars, dropped down to about P4 on my particular lap, and then I didn't see what happened. I just went back to him, and he just dropped down the order, so I think he must have had a spin or something. And it was a few laps ago now, it was a while back. Then there was a safety car, then he came in with a broken front wing a few laps after that, so must have had another incident. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, Andy. It's a peculiar one. But the real difficulty for him right now is that his championship rival Clem is out the front, has got nearly a 5-second gap here over Matty Pitt, so he's certainly looking very, very good here for an extension of that championship lead. It's really all gone wrong for this man here tonight. Where's the Scottish commentator? Ian's not about at the moment. He should be back on. Hopefully he'll be back with me in a couple of weeks, but at the moment he's not able to be around due to some personal reasons, shall we say. So yeah, Reddy's still justifying his toes right now as they're coming down towards turn 1. Still nothing doing as G.C. and Mr. Johan. Ian's definitely left the job, hasn't he? Not permanently. No, not permanently, I don't think. But we'll see. We'll find out. In the meantime, Oliver and Rexy Boy side by side here into turn 1. The Ferrari there, holding that inside line. Who's going to come out on top here as we're coming down towards turn 2? Looks like Rexy Boy's got that one done there up into P9. So Oliver just dropping back a little bit here. His teammate 3 places ahead of him, running in 7th place, closing in on Ben Hardy, who's running in P6. Rexy Boy getting ahead of Jordan Hillier. Looking down a little bit now. So Rexy Boy could now potentially be looking to charge after the likes of Ben and Mr. Johan. Yeah, Mr. Johan's actually dropping off of Ben at the moment, so Ben closing up onto C4. Ben Hardy's had a decent second stint to this race, I have to say, considering what occurred over the pit stops. Ben has had a decent comeback here, running in well within the points. I reckon a podium might be a bit beyond him. There were 12 laps left to go, but it's not completely out of the question at this point. It needs to clear C4 very quickly, though, if he were to make that happen. But here we go, Ben on the back of C4 now as they're coming into the penultimate corner. This could be a big chance here for Ben Hardy to move up into the top 5. Might be a little bit too far back this time around, but this DRS will bring him that a little bit closer and keep him putting that pressure on the back of C4, and maybe the next lap could be the one. Here we go, then DRS down the start finish straight. See, a bit too far back this time around. But I reckon this is a practice run for the next lap here for Ben Hardy. Oh, C4 a bit of a switch there coming out of turn 1. This DRS down to turn 2, which is usually pretty redundant as an overtaking mechanism, might in situations like that you think, oh, it might actually do something, but not this time. Here for Ben Hardy down this hill and now up into the dip. up middle towards turn 4, it's just a little bit too far away at the moment on the back of C Faulkner. And Ben Hardy's going to have to wait a little bit longer here. See, Mark's still got T behind him in his pedal for 9th place. Jordan right there with them as well. Here's Justify on board with him as he comes down the start finish straight. Getting a bit closer there to the back of Freddie into turn 1, but just not quite there at this moment. Ben is now got DRS here on the back of C4, and there we go, closing to the inside we go. And is this going to be job done here for Ben Hardy? You can see side by side there, C4 and they're trying to keep it around the outside. It's pretty tight here between them right now. Ben trying to hold it around the outside. Oh, C Faulkner tries to poke his nose back down the inside, and it came off horrendously there for C Faulkner. Couldn't keep his car on the inside, and that sort of speed there, taking that tight line. And Ben Hardy up to P5. That's job done there for Ben. But that little tussle may have just cost him a chance of going for the podium here. In the meantime, Freddie has finally got ahead of Justify here. These two have been battling it out for a few laps, but Freddie has made that move stick. He must have made it at the beginning of this lap, because I looked not too long ago and it was still the same situation, but Justify is still right on the back of him here, so Freddie needs to get on with this and try and pull out that gap before we get to the DRS zone. I don't think he's going to be able to be out of the DRS, but he might be out of range for Justify to use that DRS to its full advantage. So here we go then, Justify will have DRS, but he's not exactly on his gearbox, so Freddie might have a chance of defending this one into turn 1. And he is going to be far enough ahead here to stay ahead going into turn 1. So Freddie's now got this position. He's got 3rd place, but he needs to pull out 3 seconds at least. That's if the penalty is 3 seconds, which it is. We don't know also if Justify's close to a strike or how many strikes Freddie's got either. So before he gets another one, if he does, there's T there a bit wide coming out of turn 1. Mark looking to try and get the cut back here down towards turn 2. These guys are side by side. And T there with the inside line goes very late on the race there. Mark's going to surely cut back and get him on the exit, and he does that brilliantly there. Mark up into P9 without a penalty as well. So you needs to get that one done if he wanted to realistically continue his race in the way he'd want to, because being stuck behind a driver who's got penalties is never a good thing. As T also picking up another penalty there, going wide out of turn 4. What, Justify really close up onto the back of Freddie there, going through those last couple of corners, and Justify could have a great chance here. The gap only 3/10 over the line. Freddie might have to defend this one into turn 1. Justify getting closer and closer and closer, a little bit too far away. We'll get DRS there down towards turn 2. I've said before, the DRS down towards turn 2 is almost completely pointless unless you're like already alongside the other guy. And yeah, Freddie's going to hold on to that one easily. As Rexy Boy there and Mr. Johan are side by side down towards turn 2. Mr. Johan's going to have that inside line, but potentially might have a chance to move up into 7th place here. A little bit of a lock up there. He tries to take that tight line. The outside line's actually an advantageous line to be on through that part of the track, and Rexy Boy showing that. Mr. Johan trying to keep himself there, can't do it. Rexy Boy clings on to that one. These two having a good little tussle here for 7th place. They're both on the same number of penalties as well, so that will obviously mean that neither of them is that keen to move on from each other. As Davidoff here's got retirement from the race, so he's crashed somewhere. Double wave throw flags are out in the final sector. It looks like the in-game stewards are going to recover that under the double wave yellow float, so clearly not in a precarious position. Obviously that means that Justified can't overtake Freddie at the moment either. Judo Sudot there sliding down the inside up into 14th place. These two, Judo Sudot and Truckee, having a good little battle here down towards turn 2. But Judo Sudot has got a 6-second penalty, which could certainly be playing on his mind a little bit at this moment. Knows he's got to pull out a bit of a gap here to get that position by the end of the race. Plenty of work to do in that one. Freddie's still unable to break the DRS to Justify, which is going to be hurting him because he knows if he wants to finish on the podium tonight, he's got to pull out that gap to Justify 3 seconds minimum. Always got to hope that Justify is close to a third strike. STO and they're very deep into turn 1. Oh, got a bit out of shape there as well, which just lost a bit of time over there. Put on with Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy now looking a lot more cosy in that 7th spot than what he was before. Bucky here is still keeping Judo Sudot on his toes. Judo Sudot with that penalty. It's going to be unlikely that he's going to be able to finish ahead of him now as we come into the closing stages. Justify is still in the back of Freddie here in his fight for the podium places. Let's go on board with him as they come through these final couple of corners. I think Justify at this point probably knows that making the move isn't really necessary and could just sit on the back if necessary, not put too much pressure on. Here we go then into turn 1 once again. Still as you were here between these two, so Freddie just holding position. They are both closing on Matty Pitt actually, interestingly. And they've both been flipping away. Glenn is the runaway leader here, 7 seconds ahead, but definitely we have seen these two making little gains here on the back of the Mercedes driver. They're the reigning champion here at Purple Sector. Not majorly close to the championship lead so far this season, but it's certainly had a few moments so far this campaign, and is generally up there in the battle for the podiums in the top 5s. Pretty sure he is 4th or 5th in the championship, so he is up there. But he is currently running in P2 here ahead of Freddie and Justify. Here we go then, Justify just about, Freddie just about out of DRS to Matty Pitt. Justify only 4/10 of a second away, could fancy a chance here into turn 1 if he gets a good slipstream. Here we go then, looking to the inside a little bit, putting Freddie under a bit of pressure. Can't do it there, he's going to get another bite of DRS down towards turn 2 again. It's just not really going to do you much here. DRS zone's about, it's not very long, is it, to be honest? So yeah, Freddie's staying on to that one for the time being. So yeah, T's moved ahead of Mr. Johan up into P8, although Mr. Johan getting back past there on the exit of the corner. Oh, and T there going to the side of him. What's going on there? T lose control of the car going into turn 2. Might have lost the rear end there. Mr. Johan continues on his merry way. And that looked like a bit of a unfortunate incident there between the two of them. T is now missing his front left end plate there, so that front wing has taken some serious damage. That'll be costing him a lot of time over the course of a lap, so Mark will be on the back of him. T's got to get that fixed if he knows what's good for him here. So an unfortunate incident there between T and Mr. Johan, and Mr. Johan getting away with that one scot-free. Freddie's still ahead of Justify there now on the back of Matty Pitt. This is now a 3-way battle here for second place, and also it's a battle for the podium in a sense, because Justify will get the podium no matter what, as long as he stays on the back of these two due to the penalties for Matty and Freddie. But what's crucial is the fact that Freddie could still get a podium if he can get ahead of Matty Pitt. So Freddie's going to be extra motivated here to try and get ahead of this Mercedes, who hasn't got DRS. So Matty Pitt will essentially be a free hit here for Freddie. Freddie can go for it without Matty being able to defend it with a DRS of his own. This is a major opportunity for Freddie here to take a podium place. With only 3.5 laps left to go, he's got to go for it here in his closing stage of this Hungarian Grand Prix at Purple Sector. I was commenting last night on the stream during the Red Arrows League about how much he was looking forward to tonight. So he's raring to go, or something to that effect. And are currently standing on the verge of a very strong opening to this second half of the season here for the Purple Sector League for season 12. So here we go then, out to the start finish straight. DRS now open for the Williams driver. The sole remaining Williams in this race after his teammate Davidoff retired earlier on. But here goes Freddie down the inside into turn one. He's going to make that move for position, for a podium. And Matty's going to try and keep it around the outside there. Freddie has the DRS down towards 2, which will reaffirm his chance to take this position. Around the outside goes Freddie. Later on the brakes, Matty couldn't do anything about it. Freddie up into second place on the track. But that will surely be a podium once we get to the end, because Justify is there waiting like a silent assassin for his opportunity to pick those two off. So Freddie, I'm sure, has got himself a podium for now at least. But is Matty going to be able to come back at him in the closing laps? I believe Matty, is he on older tyres? He's not actually, they're on the same age of tyres. They've both done a heck of a stint as well of these two, but Freddie has looked after those tyres that little bit better in the first part of the stint, and that is clearly paying him dividends at this point. So it's been a fantastic tyre conservational drive here from Freddie, I have to say. The fact that he's clearly got a bit more confidence at this point than the Mercedes. And they're coming through into the final part of this race here, with Glenn coming over the line here to start lap 34. 2 laps left to go here at the Hungary ring. I tell you what, Matty's still very close on Freddie. This is not done yet. Freddie's going to have to defend here. Down the start finish straight we go. He's going to have to move to the inside now. There we go. Defends his position. Matty's going to try and go around the outside here. They have DRS down towards turn 2 as Freddie just, did he move in the braking zone there? That could be a questionable one. Hopefully not. It looked like it was some sort of movement, but as long as it wasn't to disrupt the direction of Matty, he should be alright in a steward's room. But interesting moment there. Freddie's still holding on to P2 for the time being. Matty couldn't get that one done. Up the hill we go towards turn 4. Again, Freddie has got it covered at the moment. Justify waiting in the wings. Doesn't need to overtake either of these two because of the penalties for those two ahead of him. C. Fulton is also on the back of Ben and Rexy Boy. No, he's not on the back of Ben, but he is on the back of Rexy Boy here. He'll pick up P6 anyway due to the penalties. So at the moment, C. Fulton in a good position after qualifying down the order. Only jumped in the session right near the end of the session. But difficult to put a map on the board. Qualified, I think it's P12 or P13, something like that. And he's done a really solid drive here over the course of this one. Matty Pitt has got back ahead of Freddie, but he's got 3 seconds extra of penalties. So did he cut? He probably cut the chicane, didn't he, to move ahead of him? I reckon that's my theory. But anyway, we didn't see it happen, so I can't confirm. But nonetheless, Freddie with DRS, so is Matty Pitt. So Freddie, as long as he doesn't pick up another penalty here, will pick up a podium. Matty Pitt second on the racetrack at the moment. Will drop down to 4th place with that penalty as things stand. C. Faulkner will pick up P6 on the penalties with Rexy Boy sporting 3 seconds worth at the moment. Ben Hardy, 5th place on his Purple Sector debut here tonight. That'll be a solid result there. I'm sure Ben would have hoped for better with the qualifying, having qualified up into 3rd place. Jordan Hillier as well, qualifying in 2nd. Only scoring a point for his troubles as things stand. So the 2 debutants tonight made a good account of themselves, but it could certainly have been a lot better than what it has been. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvement, but certainly a good opening outing here for both of these two. T in the meantime has moved into 13th place ahead of Truckee, so that's a move for position. But Klein is coming into the final corner here. The race leader, the championship leader, is going to extend his gap at the top of the leaderboard here. Klein, with an absolutely emphatic performance there from 5th on the grid, has absolutely demolished them in the Grand Prix. Klein is the race winner in Hungary tonight, with Matty Pitt coming around the final corner to take 2nd on the track. It's going to be 2nd place for Justify though on the penalties, with Freddie completing the podium in 3rd. Matty Pitt over in 4th place. Ben comes over in P5 in the end, with Rexy Boy out of the last corner here to take P6. C Fortner over in 7th place, although C Fortner getting P6 on the penalties there. Rexy Boy in 7th. Mr. Johan coming here out the final corner to come home in 8th place here in the end, ahead of Mark, who brings it home in 9th. Although Mark actually moves up into 8th place there with the penalties. Mr. Johan 9th. Jordan Healy is going to come through the final corner here. It's going to be P10 here for Jordan, ahead of G.C. who comes over in 11th place. Draga P12, although G.C. actually drops down a position there. So Draga 11th, G.C. 12th. T comes over to take 13th place. The penalties have changed that. It'll be Truckee over the line to take 13th place out of T in 14th. Oliver's going to come around the final corner here, but it will be White Shadow Hole to take 15th place and Oliver 16th. And that is all your finishes here for tonight for the Purple Sector Formula 1 League here, round 13 here of the 24 round season here for season 12 here. And excellent racing here tonight from all the drivers, very entertaining stuff there from everyone. And yeah, make sure you join us on Thursday night. We're back for round 14 of the Purple Sector F1 League, live from Spa at the usual time of 8 PM UK time. But yeah, thanks everybody once again. We'll see you all very, very soon for that one. Take it easy and good night.